as I settled down with these folks who had just come up from Oakland for the concert, they smiled back at me. And then I realized they're not smiling at me. They're smiling because they're just about to hear Ray Charles. And you remember the Flip Wilson routine? He put the Columbus discovering America in perspective by having Queen Isabella say, "Chris gonna find Ray Charles." That's what Discovering America was about. But as we were about to sit down, the woman who had joined the two Presbyterian ministers were there. I guess she figured she was safe. She was an attorney. We were safe. Attorney came and joined us. She was shivering a little because a cold front came in. And these people from Oakland said, "Hey, would you like a bit of our blanket?" And they shoved the blanket down, and I looked down the row. The entire row had blankets on their lap, and the one behind as well. The Oakland folk had come prepared to share. And I thought of the miracle of the loaves and the fishes, and I realized just then I was not only at a concert, I was in church. So look around. We saved you a step. You're already here. And for many of us, there's no better place to hear with this music that's become sacred to us. But we hope you feel at home. But here to officially share the St. James blanket is our rector, our leader, the Reverend Eileen O'Brien.
It is just so wonderful to have you all here tonight. I was a little worried when it got so cold and rainy today, but looking out on your faces, I'm excited that we are here for this experience together. I want to thank Don Braden and all of our musicians for being here, and I want to thank you for making this possible. And my job is to give an invocation and then do a little housekeeping. So here's the invocation. Spirit of God, be present in this place, move through us, fill us with your life and your spirit and your music. Amen. And in terms of housekeeping, I just want you to know that we do have bathrooms here, so if you do need to get up and go out, you'll head out and then to your left and down the hallway to the bathrooms, and there are water fountains as well. We are just delighted to have you here and delighted to honor a very special St. James member. So Terry, will you come on up?
I mentioned that we have a lot of people who work on this event, so we have volunteers, and every year we honor the volunteer that's meant so much to us over the years with the Lonnie Jackson Award. And this year we're inviting someone who is also an artist in her own right. She's an actor and an award-nominated actor, but we also hear about the ways in which she has contributed to jazz and St. James specifically. But when I came here, she was one of the people that made it feel at home for me. She sang the Duke Ellington song, Come Sunday. And my whole family said, wow, we do feel at home now, because we would sing that to open our jazz mass back in Oakland as well. And so, without further ado, please join me in welcoming honoring, I should say, our Lonnie Jackson Award winner for this year. And she's still trying to live up to her last name, Melody Fully Love.
So St. James Episcopal Church presents to Melody Fully Love the 2022 Lonnie Jackson Award. The Lonnie Jackson Award is conferred by the Jazz Committee in appreciation for one's efforts in enhancing jazz at St. James's experience. This year's recipient, Melody Fully Love, has been an integral part of jazz at St. James since 2014. She has contributed in the roles of
And Now we have my partner, Joe Morales, up here to bring on the band.
I was trying to scare Terry from behind, but it didn't work. I'm Joe Morales. Thank you all for coming tonight. You're in for a big treat. Not only is this guy a great tenor sax player and an educator, but he's a great friend. We've turned out to be partners in teaching and the love of bringing jazz to the schools. And Don's going to come down here and work with me and the New School of Music to make this a better place for Austin youth to learn jazz and to help underserved children that can't afford instruments to furnish them with instruments and give them a chance to experience the learning of jazz without having to buy instruments because they can't afford them. So I'd like to thank Richard Spencer and again Don Braden. I'm not introducing him yet. I just want to give him a hand for all the good stuff that he does. I'd like to bring up the trio. On bass guitar, we have John Fremkin. On drums, we have Daniel Dufour. And on the piano, we have Red Young. You guys are in for a treat. Put your hands together for Don Braden.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah. So that's one of my favorite old standards. That one's called "There Is No Greater Love," which is appropriate for this setting, I think. Right? There is no greater love. And we're going to move on with something from one of my recent CDs. One of the things I like to do, well, actually, it's not just me. Pretty much all jazz musicians like to do this, record or play, let's say, popular songs in a jazz way. And so basically all the standards, I should look up what show this was on. Maybe someone during the break. No, don't put your phone out now, but maybe during the break we can look up what show. This tune we just played, "There Is No Greater Love," it's probably from a movie or a show. All the old American songbook standards are from movies and shows for the most part, going back 30s and 40s or so, the bulk of them, sometimes 50s. And so, and then we jazz guys, you know, we make them hip, right? Because we're supposed to be hip people. So we make them hip, and then we do the improvisation and the conversation. You heard in the bandstand, we just throw ideas around and explore. And then in my case, I got around the room and played with ideas in the tune and stuff. So that's what we do, a lot of what we do, besides compose music and stuff, which is its own kind of adventure. But the actual rendering of popular songs is a big part of what we do. So one of my favorite things to do, and again, this is not only me, a lot of people also do this, is take later tunes. So I made a project, an album called Earth, Wind, and Wonder. So I wonder if you can figure out which two artists my two main focuses are on this particular album. You can probably figure out Earth, Wind, and Wonder. All right. So pretty not too difficult to calculate that one. So anyway, here's that CD is really fun. And I have Earth, Wind, and Wonder Volume 2 coming out next year. So got a whole new collection, but that's another discussion. Next time I come back, I'll play that stuff for you. We'll play the Earth, Wind, and Wonder stuff, some of that tonight and tomorrow. So this is going to be "Don't You Worry About a Thing" with my arrangement of that. Stevie Wonder. Thank you very much for Don't You Worry About a Thing. That's a cool jazz tune, right? Yeah. So I decided we're gonna play this one tomorrow night as well, just so you know, and we're gonna swing it tomorrow. So right, so we had there's all kinds of ways to do things, and so we're doing mostly different music tomorrow. But I just decided that tomorrow we'll swing this one and see. Just we can that way it'll be in the stream and people can just compare the two. It'll be kind of fun to check it out. So in a record we were swinging on the record, but we did swing in the first tune, and we're going to swing on this tune. So I figured we better put some straight eighth Latin thing in between, so a little audible, right? That's jazz. So a lot of what we do is create on the spot. So there's a plan, always, right? Not always, actually. No, don't even let me, I know better than to say that. How many times do we just get up there and just really just make it up? But there is a bit of a plan for this, and so set list and all that. So, but still within that, it's fun to play with it, you know, and change things up and explore. So there's a ton of improvisation all the time anyway. So anyway, so we're going to move on now. We're going to do this tune now. So people who've heard me play for over the years, I've made a lot of different, I've got 23 albums as a leader. So a lot of different kinds of projects and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead on this one and go a little bit modern. Not really modern in the sense of like the tune, because we're going to do Yesterday's, which is Jerome Kern. So that's an old tune. But we're gonna make it kind of, you know, like modern jazzy. This is our modern jazz nod for the set. And you know, like it'll come out throughout the set. Actually, do different tunes, but some are a little more traditional, and some are a little more on the modern side. This one's gonna be more like that, I think. Now I say that, and then it's gonna go where it goes, right? That's still that. But my vision for it's gonna be a little brighter tempo, and I've recorded. I did a record. One of my recent records is called Tribute to Herbie Hancock, which is I recorded with a friend of mine, Joris Tapa, and we did all these Herbie Hancock tunes, and we got the whole gig done, live recording and everything. It was killing, and people loved it, whatever. And then they were like, "Well, we want an encore." We were like, "Uh-oh." We didn't plan on. We had our 8 tunes for the recording and didn't plan on encore per se. So, well, let's do Yesterday's, and we did Yesterday's, and it came out great. And it's not a Herbie Hancock tune, although I'm sure he's played it. So. And I had actually one of my bucket list things was to play with Herbie, and I went on tour with him in May of this past year with the Hancock Institute, and that was a great blessing to hit with him. It's pretty spectacular. So anyway, he's one of my favorite musicians of all time. So we'll dedicate this to him. This is called Yesterday's, and yeah. So let's see where it goes. And I said all that intro, and it'll probably be very traditional, old school, or it might be a ballad. Let me see what happens. Let me see. Here we go. Yesterday's. How about that? Woo, yesterday's. Just like we rehearsed it. Incredible. Note for note. Just like we. Put your hands together for Daniel Dufour. On the drums, Daniel Dufour. On the bass, Mr. John Fremgen. John Fremgen. I notice people always call him Fremgen, and he calls himself John, so I'm not sure what I should call him. But what should I call you, man? John or Fremgen, or both? All right. And my good friend this is my man Fred. He's been teaching with us at the. Actually, Daniel did too. Actually, this past summer, at the Texas Jazz and Blues Camp, of which I am very proud to be the music director of the Texas Jazz and Blues Camp every June at St. Stephen's Academy. And we have students of all ages, and it was a blast. This past summer we got together. You know, after COVID being off a couple of years, we got back together in person. It was spectacular. Anyway, Red's been one of our regulars since the beginning. How about this for this wonderful young man on the piano, Red Young. In fact, Red came up. Red was on tour in Litchfield. I run the Litchfield Jazz Camp for 25 years up in Connecticut. Red was up. He was up a few years ago with the trailer and the B3 and everything, and doing his thing, doing his run up east. And he called me and said, "Hey, I'm in town." I said, "Come on!" And he came and hung out with us. It was killing, man. He came, brought the organ, and did his thing, man. It was fantastic. So one more time for Red Young. So we're gonna. We went modern, didn't we? We kind of went for it. So. It could have gone either way, though. I almost thought doing real slow, like a slow, but they would have been like, "What are you doing?" But that's okay. They always get used to it. But I went. It was fun to do the Madness Modern Modal Minor Adventure. Well, not really modal, but certainly minor. Anyway, we're going to move on now and play another contemporary standard from the Earth, Wind, and Wonder collection. This is a tune, one of my favorite tunes. Actually, it's kind of a standard. A lot of cats play this tune. I did an arrangement of it, putting the kind of Braden logic, I guess some people, or illogic, as some people probably say, my little spin on it. And this is from the Earth, Wind, and Wonder recording. And so I'll get the flute. We'll park this guy for a minute. I'll let Red set it up. This is a tune that was written by Stevie Wonder and Suze Green and made famous by Michael Jackson. So it's from the album Off the Wall. That's where a lot of people know it from. And in fact, the first time I heard it, that's the main version, is the Michael Jackson version. So anyway, here's I Can't Help It. I Can't Help It. Thank you. I can't help it. Thank you very much. That was another classic of the old standards, and it's really a tenor saxophone tune. I mean, the father of tenor saxophone, Coleman Hawkins, made a huge hit off of that one, and we all have reverence to that, everything about that. So it's always a pleasure to delve into that one. And so that was Body and Soul, Jimmy Van Heusen, Body and Soul. So put your hands together one more time for Daniel Dufour. Daniel Dufour on the drums. John Fremgen on the bass. John Fremgen. My man Red Young on the piano. Yeah, I'm Don Braden, you know that already. So we're gonna do one more tune this set. I think that, yeah, that's, I presume, and you know, the bosses can tell me what's up after that. But this is an original tune, this last tune, and this is one I wrote in tribute to the great saxophonist Eddie Harris. Anyone ever hear of Eddie Harris? So Eddie was one of those saxophone players that's slightly off the radar in the jazz kind of pantheon, you know, history, whatever. But from a tenor saxophone perspective, the cat was right up there with any of them. Very extremely monstrous, incredible cat. And he had some hit songs. I think, you know, when people have hit songs, that kind of messes them up with the critics. They'd be like, well, he had Cold Duck Time, and he had Les McCann compared to what, and they made money and stuff, so we can't think he's great. Something like, but then you listen to him play Giant Steps or like Love for Sale, it's scary. I mean, it's scary. The cat is scary. So I heard a couple of yeahs out there, so I know some of y'all know what I'm talking about. So if you haven't had a chance to scope Eddie Harris, make sure that you do some Googling and check out Eddie Harris. He's one of the great monster, genius cat, total, utter, I mean, from a saxophone, you hear it and you know, oh yeah, that's genius. Just check, oh yeah, there's no question about it. So anyway, he's one of our great inspirations for those of us here in the trenches, and I wrote this tune in tribute to him. So there are some things in this tune that I consider Eddie Harris isms. So I'm an educator, and so I told you to teach the jazz camps, and I do some teaching. I have some history doing that for sure. Love teaching, by the way. I think teaching is one of the most awesome things that we can do. So a big round of applause to our teachers and our educators. So there are 4 specific Eddie Harris isms that I want you to pay attention to in this tune. So the first you'll notice is a groove. So the groove has got, you'll recognize it right away because just a type of groove. It's kind of one of those, it's back in the 50s, like a hard bop kind of a groove, 50s and 60s. It's one of those grooves that's very driving and party-like. Play a little bit, Daniel. Let's play a little bit of that groove on this. Yeah. Yeah, it's an old school forward kind of, we call it a clock groove. It's an old school forward groove, and it's really, people partied this groove back in the day. So that's one thing, right? Now the other thing you're going to hear is a sense of the blues. Now we're in Texas, so I don't think I have to explain to you what the blues is. I come here to get my dose of it. And my good friend Richard Spencer, who runs the Texas Jazz and Blues Camp with me, he's a CEO of the New School of Music, and he takes me over to C-Boys, where the real cats are digging into it. And actually, even Ernie Duwawa and Murali Correll, those cats, I mean, that's those cats have all been schooling me throughout this process. Red too, on what the blues is. So when I come here, I always get my little dose. Anyway, so it's going to be a little bit of that in this. You'll hear it right away. And that's an Eddie Harris thing for sure, especially Eddie Harris, Les McCann. You hear it in Cold Duck Time. You hear it in Compared to What and all those tunes. So now there's 2 more things. The other thing is the interval of the fourth, a perfect fourth. Now, a perfect fourth is an interval. It's called the fourth because it's a distance between a diatonic interval between 2 notes on the piano. It's called 4 because if 1 is your home note, right? So play a B flat. Red, please. Give me a B flat, Red. Red he's in the groove. Red, I need you to demonstrate for me. B flat, please. Do a down octave. There we go. Right. No, just one. Yeah, so if we say, if that's B flat, da, so if we make that 1, and we do a major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that's our major scale with the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's the 4th note, so play E flat. Oh, you going, he's too hip, see, just 1 and 4, just 1 and 4 is all I need for now. Okay, those 2 notes, that's a 4th, right? So now play, what? John says it's the eyes of Texas. I think y'all, okay, all right, so there we go. Anyway, so the interval of the perfect fourth is one of those intervals that's an Eddie Harris thing. So you listen to him play giant steps. He's playing giant steps in fourths, which no one does. It's spectacular. It's crazy. Like, I can't even do it. I'd have to practice it for a month to even do it. So I got to work on it some because it sounds so hip. So this interval is unusual. Usually you play things in thirds. It's much more common. So in fourths, it's much more uncommon, especially when you're playing linearly, meaning you're playing a line. Boo, doo, doo, boo, doo, boo. I can't sing it. I play it. It's easier for me to play it than sing it. I can't sing that way. That sound, right? So we used to more closer intervals, but the bigger intervals, those intervals are much more challenging to play on wind instruments. They sound really cool though. Anyway, Eddie Harris featured those. Last thing, the break. So give me a break on B flat 7. Just play B flat 7 on 4, on 1. I'm going to give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, when you hear that, that's a break, right? So the music is going on, blah, 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 then boom, you get a note. Usually something interesting can happen. And, and in cold duck time, that's one of the things of cold duck time. If you say, you can Google cold duck time later. Cold duck, right? Cold duck time, right? Cold. Can we give visual aids, right? We can give you the whole, for those who can't hear what I'm saying, this is a cold, right? Cold duck time. Anyway, so cold duck time has got these breaks in it, and they just do all kinds of cool stuff. So this tune has all 4 of those things. So now your homework, listen to the tune and hear all those things. You can identify them. And just check those off. Just make a couple of notes and say, okay, he did that one. Okay, he did the 4th. Okay, he did the break. Oh, he did the blues. Okay, he did the groove. So the groove, the blues, the break, and the 4ths. So all those are all woven throughout this tune all over the place, in the improvisation and in the composition itself. Okay, cool? All right, so here is Eddie-ish. Eddie-ish. I wrote this for the great Eddie Harris. Here we go. And by the way, we're going to have Fremgen. I'm going to call him that. I'll call him John later. I'm going to find different ways to call him. I'm going to have Fremgen set this up on the bass. He says, cool, thank you. He's going to do some bass for us and show you what this incredible bass guitar can do.
All these years.
All these years of bass guitar, man. Dr. John Fremgen. Doc?
I'm not a doctor.
Do you think, This is not working. There we go. Daniel DeFore on drums. Daniel DeFore. Red Young on piano. John Fremgen on the bass. I'm Don Braden. Thank you. Thank you, Joe Morales. Thank you, St. James. Thank you, Jazz St. James. Thank you, Richard Spencer. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Woo!
Okay. Can you raise your hand if you are a veteran? Veterans, raise your hand. Thank you so much for your service. So, would you like to hear one more short one?
I want to add can we have one more applause for the veterans, please? I forgot about, that's great. That's a fantastic, it's such a profound thing to be a veteran. My dad was a veteran. I didn't serve, but my dad did, so I have mutual respect for veterans, so thank you for that. My dad was a Navy man. We'll do this for the veterans. This is There'll Never Be Another You. Brief. There never will be another you.
Don Braden, everybody. I'm just honored to know the guy, you know. Thank you, band. Thank you, hardworking band. We'll be here tomorrow night, same time and same church. Yes. Yeah.
I forgot a couple quick things. We're here tomorrow night. We have all new music except we're going to do Don't You Worry About a Thing a different way. Everything else is new, right? So beware. So come on back or tune in. I want to give a shout out to the saxophone company Antigua, which is right here in Texas. They make amazing saxophones, and they give me saxophones as an endorsement situation. So I just want to acknowledge that they're here in Texas, and Texas is a very special state for music. Lots of music students and lots of teaching, and it's fantastic. So I'm very honored to be here and hang with you guys. So thank you for that. And one more big applause for my good friend here, my brother from another mother, Mr. Joe Morales. Give it up for him.
Thank you, Don. If you're not coming back tomorrow night, which that's I just want you to come back. We have Jazz Mass on Sunday at 10:30, and then we have an evening Jazz Mass at 5. And if you haven't seen one of those, please come. And thank you again for coming to Jazz St. James. And special thanks to Pastor Eileen and my good friend Terry.